The first person we are going to discuss in regards to having a rational belief in God is William James. Clifford wrote his article at the end of the 19th century. Well, in the beginning of the 20th century, William James writes a response. Clifford's article was The Ethics of Belief. James's article is called The Will to Believe. Before we explain James's take on holding a rational belief in God, let's talk about his view on options. He says, when we're faced with a choice, we have options. And those options typically have certain properties. First, an option might be live or dead. A live option is one that's open to someone. A dead option is not open to it. The person can't even imagine the option. Okay, for example, consider what I suspect you consider to be the typical view on what you can do with your life, okay? We all, particularly living in America, tend to believe we can do pretty much anything we want. And so here you are in school, you're in school to get a degree, to have a better job, etc., etc. But if you consider someone who is in a very, very small village in a third world country that rarely ever sees anyone that's not from that village, the prospect of going to university, of being a scientist or anything like that is not open to the children, maybe even the adults of that village. They can't even imagine that it's possible. So when we can actually conceive of an option, whether we're going to pursue it or not, it's a live option. But to someone who has no capability to even imagine that being a possibility, it's a dead option. Make sense? Forced or avoidable. A forced option is when there really is only two options, okay? You either do it or you don't do it. Whereas an avoidable option is when you're presented with two, but there is a third, probably unmentioned, option. If you remember from our logic discussion, we discussed the fallacy of a false dilemma, where someone presents two options to you as though they were the only two options available. Either eat your dinner or go to bed. Except there is mysterious door number 3. That's an avoidable option. I have other options open to me. I can throw a tantrum and you can give in. I can call your bluff and go sit in front of the TV. That's an avoidable option. But there are circumstances where there really are only two options. Okay? Imagine I'm standing in front of you and I'm holding a water bottle. And I reach out as though I'm handing it to you. And I say, take this or don't take this. That's a forced option. Even if you take it from me and set it down on the table so you're not holding it, you've taken it, okay? If I say hold this bottle or leave it with me and you set it on the table, that's an avoidable option. But there are occasions when there really are only two options. And under that condition, it is a forced option. And finally, options can be momentous or they can be trivial. A momentous option is a unique one. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Should I climb Mount Everest? Should I go into space? These are momentous options. They're unique. They may be once in a lifetime. They're going to change the way you live, the way you perceive things. Versus our trivial options. Everyday, easily undone. Should I have a slice of pizza or a sandwich for lunch? Oh, I'll have the pizza. I take a bite into it. It's awful. That's terrible. I'm going back and getting the sandwich. Okay? So, trivial are those everyday sorts of things. Momentous are the big ones. According to James, a genuine option is one that is live, forced, and momentous. Okay? A genuine option is one that's live, forced, and momentous. And James considers God to be a genuine option when it is a live one. Okay? He grants that there could be people for whom it is unimaginable to believe in God. Perhaps these are people who, again, very small village, isolated, they have a particular religious belief system within their village, and the prospect of believing in something wholly different is just unimaginable to them. It's a dead option for those people to believe in God. But, and I think we can grant that more often than not, here in the 21st century, believing in God is a live option. Well, it is also a forced option. James says there are only two options. You can believe or you cannot believe. An agnostic, James says, you don't believe. So he lumps the agnostic in with the atheist. And it is momentous. It is unique. It's once in a lifetime. You don't believe, you die, you end up in hell. It's not like you can go, oh, God, let me have a do-over, please. Okay? It is not easily undone. So, believing in God is a genuine option when it's live.